Welcome back to the Persona 3 endgame.
We're gonna go out and save the world from ourselves, somehow.
One day at a time.
In the company of very shirtless Michael.
Yeah, what was up with that? Did we ever determine what the deal was there?
Apparently, living through multiple instances of your own perception of the universe in different areas means that suddenly the lack of necessity for shirts in the wintertime is clear to you.
There's something I've noticed. Has anyone else felt like the amount of screwed up stuff happening lately has escalated?
To say nothing of the fact that he is apparently come close to witnessing the end of the world, and yet he thinks, oh, let's look in the paper for the answers.
Well, obviously. Maybe there's something in there about why he's levitating. They never brought that up either.
I swear, every time
pretty basic shorthand for enlightened, I suppose.
Like people are going out of their
what I'm
way
wondering
to
is
find
why
new
his
ways
character
to die.
model is wearing his camera still while
When you experienced your parallel lives, were there any indication that it's just this
Oh, you
reality
noticed that,
that's
did
like
you?
that?
I imagine it's that it kind of makes him look like a creepy
question.
weirdo if he's just walking around with a camera and no shirt on.
The straps kind of look like a mankini or something.
Yeah, it's just like he goes by someone floating in the air like that with a camera and just they go, is this some kind of sex thing? I don't know.
The defining core mechanics of each reality is so different that there is very little point in comparing them. The norm for
Am I being
my life
punked?
as Oda compared to my life as Yuzu.
What's that show around in 99? I forget.
Good question.
I longed for family that was never around.
I want to say it was slightly too 2000s to be around in 1999.
Whereas in
Yeah, it was
Yuzu's
slightly
reality,
later.
People lived with their families and never moved apart. People who did not speak with their families were considered to be outcasts.
Great. So do you think things are getting worse?
I believe things are always as they've been, only you are just now old enough to notice how harsh reality can be.
Way to bring up the growing up is real kind of thing.
I don't know, it's like, so on the one hand, yeah, you get this impression that everything gets worse as you get older, but I don't know, Essentia. I think we're definitely, as of the cusp of the 2000s, starting to become aware of how new social trends negatively impacted the inner lives of many different people.
The hindsight here is just kind of real. Anyway, you may have noticed that we also got 100 XP for having that cutscene with their friends, and frankly, that's enough for me to stomach living through them. Let's go put that to some good use.
It's quite something considering you talked to a total of 3 friends while everybody was in the room for some reason. I mean, I'll give Persona this. When everyone's in the scene, then usually they all have something to contribute.
I noticed that. So, because we've now got our luck over 100, I can actually start putting stats into other things. Nope, still no HP.
There you go. I'm not entirely sure what I was going to say, but I'm now more inclined to agree that yes, no HP is the correct choice.
Damn it, I'm going to continue this gag.
Have you found the Dungeon Master? He's tricky to find. Tell me, have
Not
you
as tricky
been
as the
enjoying your
point,
time in the
Marlene.
Dungeon of the Mind. It can be overwhelming, never knowing if you're making the right choice.
I've been making the right choices since, like, first level.
Yeah, I'm thinking, how overwhelmed are you, other than the amount of time we've spent just in this as a proportion of the overall LP?
You say I'm not making the right choices in the Mind Dungeon, but have you seen my LP toss?
Just to get out of here. Be
250 damage, son.
If you could throw an LP hard enough to decapitate multiple opponents at a time, I feel like you would be more comfortable with your life choices, Marlene.
I had a mom, but no dad. Mom got weird when Dad left.
Oh god, we're finally getting Marlene's backstory.
For a while. But before I knew it, life had changed so much there was little to be happy for. So, I cried myself to sleep every night. I screamed every night. I tried running away. Never got very far. And you know what? I got away once. Far away. But I came back. I felt terrible that my mom was left all alone. So I went back.
On a very special episode
home,
of Y2K.
things were better for a while.
There
Then they
truly
got
are no
worse.
therapists.
Screaming.
No therapists
Throwing
allowed in
things,
JRPGs. No
accidentally on
siree.
purpose, blowing out the pilot light on the stove. So, I willed myself to escape, and I got far away. Did I make the right choice? No. I'm asking you! Did I make the right choice?
Earn that paycheck.
Is this better? Did I screw up? I can't ever leave you now! All I can do is stay here and count about the Dungeon Master's thoughts! Do you realize how many thoughts he has?
I don't know if this is supposed to be a funny line or not.
Can you help me get
I don't
out?
think it is, but
Didn't think so.
Marlene's gonna need to pick
Of course you
scenery
can't.
out of her beak for a
You're
week.
trapped here too. Just like me.
Well, that was something.
Yeah, it's just another one of those things where I'm like, oh, I guess that one's gotta go up on the board somewhere of myriad and disconnected meaning.
On the plus side, we are able to proceed further into the mine dungeon. For some reason, it becomes like very, very generous with the random stat boost for speed. I mean, it's great and all. I'm definitely not complaining because we firmly established that so long as Alex goes first, I can quick attack my way out of every fight.
Did you figure out the question?
Oh no.
Me either.
I'm
That's
figuring
why I'm
out
here.
negative things as we go
There
through
are
this
no
LP, man.
questions here.
As we
No one
dive
to
deeper
bother
into the
you to
mine
do
dungeon,
stuff.
things are actually making
I
less
like
sense.
It here. It's peaceful.
The amount of sense that things make is inversely proportional to the number of floor that I'm on.
At a certain point, when you keep having to ask those questions, it stops becoming compelling and starts becoming just... I wouldn't say annoying, more like tiresome.
Just like trying to find the save button. It doesn't show the prompt.
Oh, God.
Even though it's right next to the nest in the laundry basket.
I was gonna make a lost joke, but... I suppose...
This will become a running theme.
I suppose this game is the punchline, after all.
So I'm going to start looking around in town and see if there's anything that I actually get by doing it, but what I figured out thus far is that it seems like if I ever talk to my friends, I get 100 XP, right?
Right.
And that's a pretty good trade-off for a day, because that's a free level for everybody.
Pretty much.
Looking at it from my perspective, it's the 25th of November, and there are going to be 30 days in November, including today. And there are 31 days in December. So how many levels does that get me for the whole party by the 31st?
If that does stay consistently at one level per day, then yeah, you're looking at roughly
37 levels, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I'll tell you what, I much prefer to watch terrible cutscenes instead of dealing with this game's awful combat system. So it almost seems kind of worth it to me.
I suppose the only question then is there a way of gaining levels out and through town that means that you're actually netting more than 100 XP in a single day?
That's a very good question.
I don't think it's one we want to answer, considering that would mean that theoretically we'd be playing this game significantly longer if we were trying to go that route.
Well, we'll see, but, you know, if there was more stuff for us to do, if there were more story beats for us to hit, I'm pretty sure we would have gotten a pointer at some point for that. Also, I noticed the panda on the Christmas tree. I think that's kind of an interesting touch.
Yeah, I just noticed that too, but I mean, are we meaning to infer that this is some kind of tradition in Alex's house because of his childhood connection to Panda Bear? Also, yeah, it was the 28th at the time, so yeah, we'd only be getting 34 levels in total, assuming we get to keep grinding right up until the 31st.
Well, I'm definitely not going to be grinding for 34 days straight.
Is it weird for you two, being the same soul or whatever?
I don't think it feels real when you say it like that.
I imagine that if Bella were to suddenly become me, she would feel very weird. I am constantly experiencing
Way to
emotions of all of my
continue
parallel lives.
overstating things in a way that makes them as uninteresting as possible there, Essentia.
This is actually an interesting point.
I experience every human state.
Does Essentia just
moving on.
exist in like this gestalt state? Do
No,
her
I wanna hear
parallel
more about
lives
this.
just filter
Is this
their
why you sometimes
emotions
go
all the way
some
over to
face
Essentia from
stare
every
off in the
universe?
That's when somewhere in a parallel life she's kicking your ass for asking such stupid questions, Alex.
distance? Easy there.
I wonder what I'm like in my parallel lives.
Don't ask that question.
I suppose my only observation can be, I find it a little hard for me to believe that the Essentia and Vela do
If we had
contain the
past
same
and
soul,
future
considering
lives,
the
we would get to be
Essentia is
something
probably
different
one
in
of
the
the
future.
worst characters in this story,
I
while Vela's
just
one of
get
the
to be
better
me and
ones.
not realize I'm
I
so
know,
many other
there's
things at the
there's
same
very
time.
clearly like a character likability tier list going on that
You
Bella
too
is at
should
the
get
top
an
of.
Android shell for your physical form.
Yeah! I could be like you. Except I'd have more of a personality.
You already have more of a personality.
I appreciate this cutscene just being other characters dunking on the Essentia.
Stupid people at once. For example, I am currently a 12-year-old Scottish boy who just asked out a girl on his first date.
What? Girl, that's crazy.
Oh god, please don't make me think of the movie Gregory's Girl suddenly.
It was not fun.
Any way to tell what I'm like in a parallel life?
Only if you ventured far enough into your mind dungeon. But then you'd end up like Michael, so I wouldn't recommend it.
I wonder if I'm a super kick-ass man with bulging biceps.
Is that desirable?
Depending on your persuasion.
I don't know. Is it not? I like to pretend you're a really feminine and timid girl in one of your parallel lives, Alex.
I appreciate that Chandra's definitely having some more fun with this, but it's like, where did this come from, considering how she kind of was always on the edge of despising Alex until literally a week ago?
Yeah, I mean, putting that aside, when did the Essentia 2000 develop a SAS processor?
Again, I feel like there are definitely elements of her turn towards humor that are kind of desirable, but...
Oh yeah, no, but this is a fair
Okay,
bit
so I
better
got some
than
questions for you, Miss the Essentia
her stand-up
2000.
routine.
Do I need to use the, or can I just call you Essentia 2000, or just 2000? Or what about E?
No, she's the robot formerly known as the Essentia 2000.
Oh, no, sorry. So, what happens when people die?
Alright, this line
Does
of
that bring
questioning
you
was
into
almost
soul
entertaining.
space, or is that something different?
You are asking a very complex question of me. The only thing I can say is that I do not have a definitive answer for you.
So,
I have
just
spent
business
many
as
hours
usual then.
exploring the soul space.
Yeah, pretty much.
There, I have
Whenever the
encountered
game
many
starts
people.
asking these hard questions,
Some
the
of
other
them
part of the
are
game is
far
just
more
like,
versions of myself.
eh.
However,
Oh.
Have I met a version of myself that has died?
This is for you to figure out, not for us to monologue at you about.
I mean, the essence of the thing, maybe she did it.
There have been times where I can still sense the presence.
All I know,
of
Rory,
myself.
is that if you're ever locked in a room with a bomb, then there are some people you should call and there are some people you should not call.
Like us.
To those with worldly bonds. Death never truly comes to those who look
Depends.
out to the
Does he
future.
know what a parallel port looks like?
So, what I'm getting from this is, you believe
I
everything
feel
died
like we
caring
could teach
only
him.
about the world.
Rory seems
died
like a smart
forever.
cookie.
I would say that is a possibility. However, please know that when I say the world, or worldly, I mean people who care for worldly goods, money, cars, physical possessions.
Going for the biblical interpretation, then?
Yeah, apparently so.
Worth caring about. In this reality, it seems as if
Well,
people only care
the
about
Bible thought I'll
themselves and what they
default
own.
to in this situation is, thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou wert one or the other.
But never as many destined for the ultimate death.
My sister cared about me, about my mom, my dad, and a lot of people. She gave away her things before she died. I think she wasn't a worldly person.
That's actually a very common thing among people who are
I am
planning to
sure your
commit
sister
suicide.
was as fine a soul as you. I am eternally sorrowful.
Suddenly become
that she
very,
ended her own life. Life is
Giving
a
because
rare
they don't
thing.
want to leave the world with loose
Many
ends.
lives in all universes
Right.
never take physical form, and to throw that gift away is a tragic thing.
I think I want to help people who feel that way. That I want to try and save people who want their lives to end. When this whole
It's a
thing
good
is
thought,
over
Rory.
and we've saved everyone.
Good for
I'm
you,
going to
Rory.
help everyone realize how precious this is. Yeah. I know it sounded lame, but I believe it.
I don't know if Rory is supposed to be the moral one in the group, but he could play the role.
It makes sense considering how it first sort of treats him as, well, a protester, right? That he's trying to
Yeah, he's trying to affect change.
affect change or increase awareness of certain issues, even if he seems very lost and uncertain about how exactly he's supposed to do that.
Also, you may have seen that we got the end is nigh, but they never actually put an icon or anything there to say what it is, so you're gonna have to bear with me.
That's fair, though, again, given the theme of Rory's weaponry, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's his. There we go.
It is. Yes, it is Rory's ultima weapon, and for some reason we get it from a random conversation.
And it increases his strength, despite the
I know,
fact
right?
that he...
Rory, you don't need any strength. You're already the strongest one in this group.
What is this game doing?
I like how it presents that as a positive. Strength is not con in this game.
Again, we keep talking about how badly this game screws up its story sections, and we forget that its mechanics are terrible too.
Yeah, we have been definitely kind of overlooking how bad the mechanics are.
Does Mahou Shoujo Haru know she might exist in other realities? Am I crazy in thinking that this anime transcends time and space?
Yes.
This is a necessary conversation to have to develop Claudio's character.
You are crazy, Claudio, but, you know, I'll respect your way of getting through life.
I can respect his dedication to the fandom.
The three sisters are brothers. In another, they are 3 sea lions. And of course, in one, they are all cats who are dating.
Dating cats? But they're still sisters, right?
Asking the important questions.
Sounds so freaking awesome! This brings a whole new dimension! I almost want to astral project myself into the
Who are
soul
they
space
dating?
right now and check out these
The
millions of
ambiguity there
dimensions
makes me
of
not
Mahou
want to
Shoujo
answer
Haru.
that question.
Yeah. I don't know why I asked.
Please tell me you're joking. There is no way that this is a thing.
I suppose in all the myriad realities, anime's gotta anime.
There are only two constants in the universes. Alex will destroy all realities, and anime.
Oh, and here we go. We're getting screwed by the phone again.
I told you this was going to be a running theme, and you didn't believe me.
I didn't want to believe you. I didn't want to think that it could be...
That could make a mistake so basic.
Also, as far as these whole group discussion things go, or, you know, air quotes around the group discussions part.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, it's nothing.
Oh, okay, cool. As long as you're okay.
Bella is lying.
What? She just said she was okay. Man, I wish I could get in her mind like you can.
We don't wish you could, Alex.
Dimensional mental link with Bella to see that she is lying.
The sass.
That's how it feels sometimes.
I just wanted to tell you that you've come to mean a lot to me, Alex. You, Michael, Chandra, everyone. I'm so happy I left my reality for this one. Even if this one ends, that year I had with you and everyone else was totally worth it.
This would be a really cute scene if I could actually hear them talk over the piano.
Yeah, I think it would be a cute scene if I could understand why she feels that way.
That as well. I figured that was the option that would make the scene end quicker.
Allinson's gotta Allinson.
I mean, I could sort of understand Bella feeling like the others mean a lot to her, but Alex, like, really? I mean, yes, he did uncover her LP and stuff, but...
And I guess she did confide in him about the nature of her reality traveling.
Yeah, but we never... It was never explained why she did that.
When the end comes, and there is nothing left to do but die, will you leave your body behind and join me in the soul space?
You really don't think we can win, do you?
Have you seen our XP games? We might have a chance.
I will remind the Essentia 2000 that she has indeed seen Alex LP toss with great alacrity.
What's it like to enter the soul space?
Alex's LP is the LP that will pierce the heavens.
To pure spirit, your flesh dissolves. Your form dissipates. You will float in space, liberated from corporeal form. You exist with the freedom to travel wherever you please.
So long as it doesn't require rendering.
It is magical, and it does not hurt.
So how do I do it?
So the question is, will Ghost Alex still be able to fire off LPs?
That is a good question. If we assume that those bits where he's monologuing like at the player are him floating around in the void, I don't think he needs to. He just bores people to death with monologues.
I mean, we're still alive despite ourselves.
I have only ever known a physical form. I can't imagine not living like this. Eating, drinking, reading, playing games. That's what life is to me. I understand that there's more. I really do, but I can't let go of what I've been trained to know.
Maybe this is why you've never felt the existence of the soul space. You have never lost anything.
Do you think it's unreasonable that the Essentia 2000 expects everybody to just kind of unlearn their conditioning over the past 20-something years of their lives and join her in the soul space?
I think it's unreasonable that she expects Alex to do this because, again, first of all, what is she explaining to him about the soul space that makes it sort of a compelling option given the alternative that we're already presented with? And why does she think him so capable of doing that when, one, she hasn't really managed to explain anything about anything with any degree of relevance? But I guess we'll have to find out next time.